Hi, all my LGBT friends and others. Okay, so I'm finishing up Genesis chapter 31, starting with verse 31. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, peradventure, thou would takest by force thy daughters from me? With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. Before our brothers discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. By the way, just in case I didn't say it, the items that he's concerned about are idols, okay? Okay, so Laban went into Jacob's tent and into Leah's tent and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, idols, and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise up before thee. For the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. In other words, she was having her monthly time. Okay. And Jacob was wroth and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What's my sin, that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, thou hast found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge between us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beast I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night? Thus I was in the day that drought consumed me, and frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I've served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me. Surely thou hast sent me away now empty. God has seen my affliction and labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesterday night. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou hast seen is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I with thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, gather stones. And they took stones, and they made a heap. And they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jergar-Sahadutha, but Jacob called it Galilee. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Galilee. And Mitzpah, for he said, the Lord watch between me and thee when we are absent from one another. And if thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee. And Laban said to Jacob, behold this heap, behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be a witness, and this pillar be a witness, and I will not pass over this heap to thee, that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. And God of Abraham and the God of Nahor and the God of their father judge betwixt us. And Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up, kissed his sons, his daughters, blessed them, and Laban departed and returned unto his place. Okay, I will continue with chapter 32. Jacob's vision at Mahanaim. His message to Esau. He is afraid of Esau's coming, prayeth for deliverance. He sendeth a present to Esau. He wrestled with an angel at Peniel, and is called Israel. He halteth. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, This is God's host. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, and to the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau, thy servant Jacob, with thus I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed there until now. I have oxen and asses, flocks, manservants, womenservants, and I have sent to tell my lord that I may find grace in thy sight. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks, and the herds, and the camels, into 2 bands, and said, If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord, which saith unto me, Return into thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become 2 bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me and the mother with their children. And thou sayest, I will surely do thee good, and make thee seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for a multitude. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats, 20 he-goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 millet camels with their colts, 40 kine, 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, 10 foals. And he delivered them unto the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and ask thee, saying, Whose art thou? And whither goest thou? And whose are these before thee? And then thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the drove, saying, On this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when you find him. And say ye moreover, Behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of day. And then he saw that he prevailed not against him. He touched the hollow of his thigh. The hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God's face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose up upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of thy sinew, which is upon the hollow of the thigh until this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. And that's it for now, and I better stop. Otherwise, I'm going to go over. Okay, I hope that this reading is a blessing to you. I will continue with chapter 33 when I get a chance. Okay, bye-bye.